there's tools and products and activities that can facilitate these connections, and just for the sake of having a moment together, having fun together, maybe sharing an old memory together, can give that sense of belonging and sense of warmth and connection. Social interaction is one of the ways to reduce apathy for people that live with dementia. And apathy is when someone sits still by himself, stares out the window without seeing something, actually that there's very little activity all in all. And there's more ways to reduce it. You can also be physically active, evoke emotions, or be mentally active. But for now I would like to focus on social interaction because contact and attention is so very important for this group. And when I talk about it, we focus or we think about people that already live in care homes, but actually already way earlier in the dementia journey, it starts to play a very prominent role. So what we see when people are in the very earliest stages of the dementia journey, people are most of the time at age. So in a natural way, their social environment is limited, is already a little bit reduced. But also their abilities to go outside and do the activities that they were used to in daily life are becoming smaller and less often. So visiting a store or going to their old sports facility or meeting friends somewhere, it will play a smaller role in their lives. But luckily, in many neighborhoods, there is attention for this, and there are groups that organize activities that are very suitable for people at age and also shared with other people that maybe are also in early stages of dementia. And family members, they can also play a very important role. They can obviously visit their loved ones, but they can also stimulate these activities or maybe help mum or dad to attend one of these groups. What we see when people are a little bit further in the dementia process, their need for care and support obviously increases. And sometimes maybe a husband or a wife is not capable of providing all this care. So there's more care at home, but you also see that many people will be visiting daycare facilities. And actually, if you look at the social interaction before and after moving to a care home, this can play a very important role. Because these daycare facilities are positioned in the care home already. So they get acquainted with the environment, they familiarize themselves with fellow future residents, but also the care staff. And while they attend these daycare facilities, they can do activities together. So they, for example, sit around the table and play a game, especially games that are purposely designed for them. Or they maybe go outside to do an outing, or they maybe even just share a meal together. And why it's important is that if they familiarize, even if a face just looks friendly and a little bit familiar, it will be easier the moment that they move to a care home to actually get in contact and approach someone or ask a question for help or just for a chat. And when people live in a care home, you also see a lot of differences between people. And they're also natural. Because some people tend to be more social, have more needs in social interaction than other people. That's not a problem at all. And I think it is important to be aware of these differences in needs and what people are used to from their old lives and cater for both. And we know that in many care homes they organize a lot of group sports, a lot of group facilities, and also they are more in care homes. There's more space and time for certain games, serious games that can all trigger certain activities, but definitely also the feeling of doing it together, doing it in a group and being part of a group. And even though further along in the dementia process, you might not be aware of yourself anymore, you might not really understand or know who the other people are in the environment, but if there's tools and products and activities that can facilitate these connections, and just for the sake of having a moment together, having fun together, maybe sharing an old memory together, can give that sense of belonging and sense of warmth and connection. And what we see during the whole process within a care home, it also changes over time. So where people first maybe are able to join all these group activities, maybe later on that is not so easy anymore. And in the end, people will probably lie in bed and their life becomes a little bit smaller. And also then we can accommodate a chat and contact, physical contact, just to make that connection together. Today in the corona situation, the need for contact that were always there only became stronger and more visible, because family members are most of the time such an important part of their social connection. They're not allowed in the care homes at the moment anymore. So obviously we all hope that quite soon we will be able to visit care homes, visit your mom or dad or your grandfather in a care home again. But it will be quite different. That's what we expect. We think that it will be harder to visit someone in the communal area, and that the contact with the outside world will be more happening in people's own rooms. And that might not change so much the connection with your mom and dad, but it will for the rest of the group, because they sort of miss out on that sort of different person that comes in with a chat or with some sort of news from the environment or the neighborhood. I think in the world that we are approaching with different rules to keep distance and to keep this group safe, we can rethink what connection is about and how we're going to facilitate it for this group of people. And I think where we can explore a lot of new ways of connecting and being in contact with each other will be indirect contact. So it's not only by picking up the phone and phoning someone or going and visit, but you can also maybe send a postcard, or you can leave behind a message that will be played or will be showed to the resident when the person wakes up or when it sort of fits their daily routine. I think there's a lot of options and a lot of opportunities there to explore together with the care homes, with family members, but also with companies that can maybe facilitate in the technologies that make that possible. And if we think about connection and attention, we start with the resident themselves, but even more so I think for the family members it will be so important to get more information from how the resident is doing. How is their day? How they're feeling today? Did they have fun or not so much today? And how is the course of dementia going? How are they today and how they might be tomorrow? So I think if we think of these ways of almost exchanging information about our lives, I think we must really also take into account the role or the added value for the family to hear and to see a little bit more of the residents that live in a care home.